Ask you this, though. Play-in tournament. You hate it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hate's a little strong. I sports hate it.
You don't like it.
Nah, I think it...
You'd rather not have it.
Yes. I would rather have teams compete for a top 8 playoff seed.
In this Warriors situation, aren't you glad it's there?
No, not really. No, I'm not. Because if you...
It feels like a little bit of a cushion.
No, it is a cushion.
Right. And
don't get me wrong, we here at 95.7 The Game would love to have additional Warrior games. I'm not going to be anti-Odyssey.
Sure.
And I'm going to be transparent and say, I want the Warriors to have as many basketball games that are meaningful as possible. It's good for the station, which means it's good for me. So to that end, yes, I'm happy there's a play-in tournament because that means the Warriors, if they wind up as the 9 seed, that means the Warriors are going to have a home game, good for Joe, and then if they win, they'll have a road game good for us.
But forget the Odyssey part of it.
But I had to get that out there.
But the fan in you.
Big staff meeting today. Can't wait to get there, Stacy.
Oh, my gosh. We are, maybe.
Got to cut the changeover short.
Cut the changeover way short.
Yeah,
we got to get over there.
Yeah.
Okay, no, the fan in you.
I hate it.
Why?
Because
if you're a Warrior fan, don't you want that buffer there right now to see if you can get in a season? And this is not to, please don't let this sound like excuses, but when teams go through stuff like this, when you lose your best player for an extended period or your second best player has injuries and personal stuff, I get it. That's part of the deal. It's always been part of the deal. But when you have that, and you feel like a team that's maybe better than their record, don't you want a little buffer to at least give them the opportunity to work their way back in when all of that adversity has been thrown at them?
Yeah, I really don't, because that's just the way it goes, right? It's just bad luck. We talked about luck with the Niners before. This is bad luck. Steph Curry has somebody clatter into his knee, and it happens in such a way that he tears a couple of ligaments that we had never even heard of. Even I, the radio doctor, had never heard of the interosseous and the rest of it. So that's bad luck. And Andrew Wiggins with an adductor and, whatever you want to look at in terms of good luck, bad luck, this has not been their year. That doesn't mean that I want them to have a buffer, because here they sit, even though it hasn't been their year, they're a half game out of the 8. So they still would have a chance under a normal playoff situation
for sure.
to be a playoff team. What I don't like in sports, Mark, is what we've gotten to where it's the Oprahfication of the postseason.
How do you mean?
You get a playoff spot, and you get a playoff spot.
Yeah, but
baseball is the one that really rankles me the most, because now 162 games used to mean something.
Right.
If you were good, you got to go to the playoffs. Now, if you're just mediocre...
You still have to be good.
You just have to be mediocre.
You still have to be good.
What was Philly last year? 87 and 75?
Yeah.
That's not that good.
It was good.
I'm not saying go back
great,
to just,
but it's good.
The best and the best. Straight to the World Series.
Went to the World Series.
I would love to go back to just 4 playoff teams in each league in baseball.
It's interesting because you love March Madness. And they let all kinds of junk in.
Well, it's different when you think about
why.
Because there are
7th place in the Big Ten. You're the 10 seed.
Don't you dare come down with March Madness.
No. I am because it's true.
If you want to talk about percentage of participants,
why is that okay?
Because you get 68 out of 355.
But nobody is going to go to the 7th place team in the Big Ten and say you actually have a real chance to win the national championship.
It's happened. NC State is on the phone.
Well, that was not 7th place in the Big Ten. But anyway, you get my point. To that point. I understand that there are a couple of outliers, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
I do.
You're saying that the regular season used to mean something. Are you telling me in college basketball the regular season means something?
No.
No, it doesn't.
And I'm not saying college basketball is perfect. And I would love to go back to where college basketball didn't have these conference tournaments, where... I'd love the conference tournaments because, especially for the smaller
I like the
conferences.
little ones, yeah. Because
exactly. But if you're in the Big Ten and you go 27-2 and you win the Big Ten and you're undefeated, you don't care about the Big Ten tournament because you're going to be a 1 or 2 seed anyway, even if you lose. So it actually helps you to lose early to not have those games and the wear and tear. 68 teams in the tournament out of, I think, 355 in the country. It's roughly about 1/5 of the teams in the country make the tournament. You get to the NBA, and now 20 of the 30, 2/3, have a chance to win the championship. That's too many, Mark.
2/3. I mean,
it's 20 of 30.
Look, here's what I would say about this. And I know
it's the Oprahfication of pro sports.
But it's not.
Baby.
It's actually the Americanization of pro sports.
Because it's money.
And it's more. We all like more. We just do. We like more. Think about it. If you've ever had kids and you go to Target, what happens? I promise you, you're leaving in an argument. Why? Because you'll go there for the reason you went there, and then you'll see the second and third thing that they want, and you might say yes. But it doesn't matter how many things you say yes to. You're going to get to the point where you say no, and the kid is going to focus.
Early.
And the kid's going to focus on that. The kid's going to focus on the one thing that they didn't get, and they're going to forget the 50 things that you just bought them. Why? Because we've been conditioned, whether it's Christmas, whether you go to ballparks now. What do you see with ballpark food? Can you just get a burger, or what are they promoting on social media? We've got the bananas burger. It's the size of your body.
Right.
And you can order it for $69.99 with 3 friends, and you more. And our sports watching. Like NFL goes to 17 games, and we all know it's going to go to 18. College football's finished. Well, we went from 2 teams to 4. We all know it's going to go to 8. It's probably going to end up at 16. Like, we are the country of more. And so, yes, there's the financial aspect of it, but the other side that you're sort of saying no to, and we get, you know this, we get this point 47 times a day. What's everybody's fix to everything? Fewer games. We need to shorten the season.
Yeah.
It's not urgent
It'll
enough.
never happen.
It's never going to happen. And you, by the way, you'd hate it if it did. That's my contention.
Well, ticket prices would go up.
Not
for
just
example.
that. Not just that. You'd have less entertainment. You'd have less stuff to watch on TV or less things to go do. I mean, how many of you are freaking out right now because it feels like it's been 8 years since there's a Warrior game?
It's been a long time.
Come on, let's get to the games.
My feeling, though, is if you had fewer playoff teams, the games that you did have in the regular season would have a greater import in terms of you got to get to that top 8 seed to be a playoff team. Instead of, you can limp into the 10 and maybe get your guys back and get hot and win a couple, and now you get to go in and you get a series. The play-in tournament, to me, is not solving the issue that they were hoping to solve, and that's why this mid-season tournament, to me, if it even ever happens, it's going to be a complete joke.
Well,
you want to talk about load management.
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors, 4-time NBA champs, are going to go to the mid-season jamboree in Las Vegas and give a crap about winning some trophy?
Now, that's what I've always thought about. Like when Gilgeous-Alexander with the OKC Thunder said over the weekend, money talks. That's how you could get people to play hard at the All-Star game. Is that what they would have to do, I guess, at the midseason tournament? Would you have to have a side contract with another $1 million to go play at this? Well, I mean, you're only playing for a week.
If you're Steph Curry, you don't get out of bed for less than $5 million.
I understand that. But you know what? Like, they're not all cut that way.
And he's probably not cut that way, so I shouldn't defame him with that.